What is going on, everybody? So we finally got to the end of the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus, and I loved it. Look at this. Look at my man right here. I'm gonna start by saying this. I may be a little biased in how much I like the show because of the love I have for the character Hawkeye Clint Barton himself. He has easily been one of my favorite comic book characters since Avengers 2. For that one speech he had when he goes and like saves Wanda and basically tells her, none of this makes sense. I'm just a guy. I have no powers. I have a bow and an arrow. I'm fighting robots on a flying city. But I'm gonna go right back out there and do what I gotta do. Ever since that speech in Age of Ultron, he easily became one of my favorite characters, and I spent quite a bit of time learning more about him from the comics and been loving him in other movies he's been in. Unlike my other videos, I will be talking spoilers about the entire series, the ending, everything. So if you did not finish it or have not watched it, just be warned about that. And I'm talking my crap. The beginning of this show was a little bit slow, which gave all the Hawkeye haters the reason to go, see, this is why nobody wanted to see this show. It's only Hawkeye. He's not even one of the coolest Avengers. Which, you know, to your opinion, that can be true. I don't care. I love Hawkeye. But I've always liked the more grounded heroes in Marvel anyway. And this show did not disappoint with Kate Bishop. I love Haley Steinfeld as an actor. I don't even know if I'm, whatever. I love Haley Steinfeld. Since the beginning of the show, she gave a tremendous effort and a lot of emotion to her character. She was very lovable, very likable. And I feel like she did no wrong throughout the series. I loved every time she spoke. I love how her journey from being somebody who loved Hawkeye a lot, from seeing him when she was very young, to learning about what it might really mean to be a hero and things you would have to go through the hard way. Now, what I mean when I say the show was a little slow at the start is that it did a lot of world building. It did a lot of talking about, you know, the background things of it, especially with Kate's family and who she is. And then you got the pizza dog, and you got Clint's whole relationship to his family, and how being an Avenger, being Hawkeye, is always coming up as a problem to him. And Jesus, we need to leave him alone. For like the first half of this series, of the 6-episode series, you can clearly see that the character of Clint Barton, like Jeremy Renner, he just doesn't want to be doing anything. We see him very happy in the first, I believe it's the first and second, I might be wrong, it might just be the first, but we see him very happy with his family and ready to go to New York. Then you got little Kate Bishop running around New York in the Ronin suit, causing problems. And now he has to go do hero stuff when we've seen before in the other movies, he wants to let go and they do not let him. All the way back in Civil War when he was just like, man, I was with my family, I got called into this crap. Now in Endgame, he's just like, what the hell happened while I was gone? Now I gotta do this crap. All the way up to our Hawkeye, his solo series, well, shared series, but solo for his character, where he once again has to be a hero. And like I said earlier, for those first few episodes, it's like he doesn't want to be there, which is understandable for that reason. And Kate Bishop is just more than happy to work with him and learn from him. And she keeps asking all these questions about him being an Avenger and his arrows and all that. And he's just like, leave me alone. I'm gonna get that suit, I'm gonna clear this up, and I'm going home. Seriously though, the relationship between Kate Bishop and Clint Barton was the best thing in the show. Aside from him just like wanting to get out of this and her fangirling, it turns into this team up mostly after many times where he works with her until things get pretty serious in the show. For example, like the show is very lighthearted, which is something I really love about it. It's very fun. It's very like family oriented in my opinion. There's a lot of jokes. It doesn't feel like a typical Marvel high stakes thing. And I feel like the show is very self-aware for that reason. Even when there was action scenes and when they first introduced Echo and Hawkeye and Kate get captured by villains, and it's literally just like they're just joking around with them and teetering on these like little 25-cent horses you find at supermarkets before, not anymore. But yeah, it was just, it's interesting to see. Like we've seen Marvel do it before where like fight scenes they implement funny things, but this felt like very different. It felt like they weren't taking anybody serious. I mean, rightfully so. Hawkeye has literally fought Thanos and a whole bunch of other people. Some people in tracksuits that yell bro all the time, they're not really gonna phase him. It might phase her, but she has a very big confidence, maybe in her being just with Hawkeye, but as a character herself, she was very confident, which is something I did like a lot. The stakes of this show certainly wasn't high. At moments, things do get serious, but it was nothing that Hawkeye couldn't handle. It was things that he had to save Kate from. For example, like I've said earlier twice now, but when she's all happy to do these things, and then you have Maya come out, who is Echo, and who was very interesting in the show. I will talk about her in a second. In my opinion, I think the show picks up a lot towards the end of episode 2 and episode 3, especially when they first get captured, like I spoke about earlier, and when you finally get introduced to the character of Maya, which is Echo. Maya working for the tracksuits, and her sole mission being that she wants to avenge her father and kill the Ronin who murdered her father. That was all very interesting to me. And then we finally get some really cool big action scenes and a cool car chase, and you see Hawkeye using a bunch of trick arrows. One of them was the coolest thing ever. When he busted out that arrow on the bridge with Kate, and he was like, on my mark, and then you see the Pym Industries on it, and I was just like, what the hell? Shoots it in the sky, and it's just like a huge beam on the bridge. Holy shit, yeah, I got so excited. It's just like obviously we never focused on Hawkeye and his arrows before. We've seen a couple cool ones in the movies, but this show explored like a bunch of his arrows more, and Kate and Clint, they talk about them a lot, and they were like really cool to see in the show. After episode 3 to the end of the show, it was just non-stop fun in my opinion. You've had a lot of things like they were coming into fray, but now everything was just folding on top of each other and just snowballing into this whole thing where Clint was just damn tired of everything and wanted to go home for Christmas. But it was a lot of fun. It was fun to see Elina get involved from Black Widow on her sole mission to kill Clint. We get that beautiful scene of Elina and Kate just talking when Elina takes like her box of mac and cheese and just makes it while she's just hanging out in her house. You get that really funny line, and she was just like, don't worry, if I wanted to kill you, I already would have. Like, as soon as you walked in that door, as soon as you opened it, it was dead. Just dead. And Kate's just like, yeah, that makes sense. Their dynamic together, and even in the last episode, it was just so great. I can't wait to see, like, the future of Marvel. It's like, you know they're going to work together, right? I have a strong feeling this is not the end of Haley Steinfeld being Kate Bishop, especially with the end telling us that, you know, Hawkeye is going to give her his name. So the whole show was alluding to something where I actually didn't see coming, which was Eleanor, Kate's mom, being the big bad. I knew for a fact it wasn't not her stepfather, but the guy her mom was marrying. I knew it wasn't him, but I didn't suspect that she was gonna be the bad one. When it was revealed that what names? When Elina was hired to kill Clint by Kate's mother, I was just like, damn, that's crazy. And then when you bring in Kingpin, obviously, and Vincent D'Onofrio coming back as Kingpin was amazing. I was a little worried because, you know, we had that amazing Daredevil show, one of my favorite shows of all time. But it was very adult. It was very gritty. It was rated M. It was a lot more to handle. So I was kind of worried about how Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin was going to look in Hawkeye. And so far from what we've seen, because we haven't seen enough to fully tell, but he was still very menacing. He was still very dangerous. I loved his talking. I love how he acted. And there's nothing to tell me that he might be too different from his Netflix counterpart, which he will be, because like from what I said earlier. But I did find it funny how he wore his typical white suit. He had a Hawaiian shirt under. To me, that was hilarious. He had his little, like, I forgot what the name of the hat is, but you know what I'm talking about. It was funny to see Kingpin kind of like in a laid back looking way, but not acting, obviously. So you get all these stories that finally lead into the finale where everyone comes together at this Christmas party to fight it out. And it all felt amazing to me. I think out of all the shows, I like this finale the most because it feels like it really ended a lot of things. I will say this though. Disney, if you brought Vincent D'Onofrio back as Kingpin just to kill him, I will end you. But for real though, I really don't think he's dead. Yeah, especially because we saw Maya shoot him, but it was off camera and no body, you know what I mean? You know, when we see bodies in Marvel, it's just like, did they really die? Probably not. But like, there's no way they already killed him after they're like, oh yeah, we'll bring him back. There's just no way. Kate gave a speech that was very reminiscent to what Clint told Wanda in Avengers 2. She basically told him why she loved him so much and looks up to him as a hero and a person. It went back to the first episode when she saw him fighting Chitauri, as she said in the show, with a stick and a string. and he has no superpowers. He cannot shoot beams out of his hands. He can't fly. But she watched him fight Chitauri and jump off of a building because just that's what a hero has to do. And oh, that it hit me in all the feels when she talked about that and told him that. And you could even see it in Jeremy Renner's face, in Clint's face. And he was just like, damn, that was pretty cool. And you can clearly see why that would be an inspiration to a young girl. And that was just like, for me, it solidified. It just continues to solidify why I love Hawkeye so much, and why I always love the street heroes who have no powers but do what gotta be done. Elina finally gets her closure for the death of Natasha when she talks to Clint after she kind of brutally beats him on that ice. That was kind of crazy, but she really beat him with that baton. I was like, damn, man, like, let him talk. I feel like Elina's purpose in the show was to get that closure for the Natasha through Hawkeye, but also, like, there's no coincidence that she had so much time talking and just like having fun and little fights and funny things with Kate. Like when she had her whole chase scene in the building when Elina was going on to kill Hawkeye and Kate was like trying to stop her and she pressed all the buttons in the elevator, and every time she tried to touch her, she'll slap her and stuff like that. Those were all hilarious, and I have a feeling they're gonna be together a lot more in the future in other projects. So I really feel like she was brought on for those two reasons. But I feel mostly, I mean, obviously the Natasha thing for closure, but her relationship to Kate was amazing. Like, I really love that a lot. I want to see more of that. All in all, I feel like everybody in this show had a great character arc, especially Echo. It kind of might be easy to overlook her story a little bit when you watch the show, but if you really think about just her, what she went through and the time we have saw her, she gets her closure, she gets her ending, and she gets like a good explanation for everything that happened. Like, she finds out that Hawkeye is Ronin and that he was sent to kill her father by her boss, being the Kingpin, and that her business partner and longtime friend Kazi was a part of this. So I felt bad for her, especially when she had to fight Kazi. And it's just like, we know Kingpin. If you've seen Daredevil, you know how terrible of a guy he is. Like, he really had her father killed and acted like he just never knew. So yeah, it was heartfelt for sure, but for me and for everyone who's seen Daredevil, it was like when she was fighting Kazi, I was just like, yeah, this is hurtful because it's just like, you knew about this and you never said anything, and you just worked with me like nothing happened. But you just know that Kingpin is capable of something like that. And Kazi even said it himself when he's fighting. He's just like, I'm sorry, but this is the world I live in. Like, there's no other way he could say it. This is just what has to be done. And then him trying to kill her is just ultimately the effect that Kingpin has on this world that Kazi just couldn't escape, which is kind of poetic. This is why we love Kingpin. Like I said earlier, they shot Kingpin, and no, just Disney, no. But yeah, that's how Echo's story ends. She goes to shoot Kingpin and finding out that all of this that she's been living was a lie, which leads me to believe that she might follow in her comic footsteps and be a hero of some sorts. We'll probably see her in that future Daredevil project that Marvel told us, Kevin Feige told us that he is a part of the MCU now, and we just saw Kingpin, so that's probably where we're going to see Kingpin next as well. But yeah, Hawkeye and Clint saved the day. Oh, and I almost forgot. I forgot to say this. If I see any crap about Kingpin because Kate basically beat him in a fight, I will end you, okay? Because you guys know, if it wasn't for those damn trick arrows, he would have beat the crap out of her. Also, it's very easy to tell that he was not trying to kill her, because he could have killed her a bunch of times, but left her there because he was just trying to go after her mother. So if I see any Kate slander or any Kingpin slander about that, you're fired. Well, I have no idea, but you're fired. I think this was very different from all the other Disney Plus shows we got so far. It was much more laid back. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of comedy. And it was about Hawkeye. It's just so funny to say that. Like, Hawkeye got a show, somebody who people didn't think would have had a really good show. In my opinion, it's a really good show and I highly recommend it. He even ended all happy with his family, with the pizza dog, with Kate on Christmas. And that's how the show ends. Very heartfelt. They burn the Ronin suit before they walk together towards the house, Kate and Clint I'm talking about, and he gives her the name Hawkeye. They kind of cut that out, but obviously you can see that, especially because they show the target as they're walking. If I were to rank this with the other Marvel Disney Plus shows, I think I'm putting this as my favorite Disney Plus show so far. I like Loki a lot and I like WandaVision a lot, but I don't know, there was something about this that made me like this show more than that. It's hard though. You know what? I'll just give it a tie with WandaVision because I like WandaVision a lot. The reveal that the Rolex watch that Clint gives his wife had a SHIELD logo behind it. He was like, I got it back for you. Dude, I jumped up. I jumped up harder than I jumped up from when Kingpin popped out. Just because we knew the whole time Kingpin was gonna be in the show. Let's be real. Marvel tries to hide stuff from us, but we find it, okay? We damn knew Kingpin was gonna be in the show. But when I saw that she had that SHIELD logo on the watch, dude, I jumped. Because I don't know much about the character that I'm pretty sure they're alluding her to be, but it was cool because I was like, damn, like we could get a whole backstory to that. Her being the character of Mockingbird, which is one of Hawkeye's love interests in the comics, and she was a SHIELD agent. Dude, I was like, what the? Like, what? That was awesome. If you for some reason haven't started Hawkeye or were planning on not watching it, I say watch it. I liked it a lot. It's only 6 episodes. It's a lot of fun. You'll love Kate. You'll love Clint. You'll love the stories that they end up going towards, how Kate learns what it means to be a hero. And now I feel like she will be a part of the she will be a hero in the MCU, and I can't wait to see more of her. Peace out.